Good morning all, Butcher Jerd here. We're doing lamb chops start to finish. So, if you want them looking like this, this was busy, so they're a bit rough around the edges, but they're still nice and even, cut perfect, I reckon. Fat's trimmed, all the rest of it, looking good. This was done on Friday, so it was a big bloody day. Anyway, that was the day before a long weekend for us, so it was pumping. So, chumps. What Reese is doing here, he's taking the hip right there, he's halving the rest, and halving it again. In doing so, the halving it in the middle and halving again, he's pretty much guaranteeing that every single chop, he's going to get 4 chops off a chump, and they're all going to be even. That's the way he does it. So he's marking that little bit at the end for that hip bone, because that last chop, you don't want that hip cartilage. It basically turns into all crap. That last little bit is all crap, so you square it off. Tired, eh? Big weekend. We won 3 golds in the state. So loins, he's cutting into 8. Reese halves them in the 4s and then halves them again. This is like the safest approach for people starting off. So bandsaw work is dangerous work. You don't have much chance. If you touch it, you fuck up, it hurts. It rips. It doesn't cut. It rips and tears and takes whatever the hell it's touched. So it doesn't stop at the bone. It just goes through everything. So you got to be really careful. So you got the line where the blade goes in. You can see that line. So that's generally a good go-to. So I like to say for new people, left hand stays on left side, right hand stays on right side. What Reese is doing there, where he's pushing it up with both arms, you don't do it. I do it, Reese does it. We've been using bandsaws for 15, 16 years. So you you know what you're doing, you know where your arm's supposed to be. But if someone bumped Reese in the butt while he was doing that, get a bandsaw blade through the forearm. So really highly dangerous. I don't recommend doing it. I do it. I don't recommend doing it. It's one of those do as I say, not do as I do things. Right, so here's his chump. In half again. Nice and easy. In half and in half again. So those display just like that. So the middle chumps are the biggest. You always want your biggest face facing up. It sort of makes everything look better, you know what I mean? So bang, and then bang. So it's about displaying. And it's the part of butchery that a lot of people don't seem to get, and why I think there should be more women butchers, because they're so good at attention to detail and that sort of thing. You want everything to look good and look its best, and to do so, you're not going to put an end chop in the middle, you know what I mean, as a face chop. So the loins, we sort of have, you've got the 2 really fat ones on the end, so the really fat ones go down inwards, and then all the other ones from the little side all the way up. You go one from one end, one from the other end, facing outwards. So you get all big eyes, you hide the little ones under the big ones. Looks deceitful, but, at the end of the day, they all got to sell, and they all got to look good, and that's the way they do it. You don't want to put little ones on top of big ones and make it look, all uneven and hickledy-pickledy. So he's trimming all the ends off. So all the ends have always got a bit of bone dust from when, you got cut of the abattoirs or whatever else. So we always trim the ends off, get rid of them. And then we go, he's doing halves and halves again. I just do 8 in a row. So I just go left to right, zip, 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 zip. But this is probably the best way. And when things get stuck like this, so he's going to grab it, and he was like, nah, no point grabbing it. Just let it be. Eventually, with some bone, like on those chops just then, it'll push out, and you don't have to try to grab it. That's what you got to understand, it's either sucks down or it gets pushed away. And you got to be careful. See how he moved his arm there around that blade? He was aware of it, paying attention. He's not talking, he's not looking anywhere else, he's just looking at what he's doing. Right, 4/4, you got your round chops. There's always 2 of them, 3 of them, depends how thin you go. And then 4/4 chops. Usually between 5 and 7, depending on your thickness. I like to go down to where, see that big knuckle bone is there? We like to stop just about there. Maybe we get 1 in it, or maybe 2 in it if you're lucky. You sort of want to see there when you're pulling it apart. So you had a look, and just had a look and see what was going on. That's what you got to do. Just to make sure you can get that chop or you can't get that chop. You don't want to get a chop that's half bone or 3/4 bone. You just don't want to do it. It's not good. Anyway, there's them cut up. There's a few tips and tricks in displaying and just retail butchery in general. See how he's hiding all those fat lumps? It's always going to be those fat lump in the middle of the chump, and it cooks out perfectly, but it looks like crap when displayed. So you got to make it nice and pretty. 4/4, bang, 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 and bang. Look at that. He'll wipe the bone dust off, but you get the idea. Loins, same again. in twos. Have a great one. See yous.